Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina and Chairman Lamar Alexander of Tennessee. He's the chairman of the Education Committee. They have put forward legislation to do pandemic vouchers, basically. So there's federal action now for us to support and for our government affairs team really to get behind. These are vouchers specifically during the pandemic so that parents will have the choice of where to send their students to school or homeschool funding if they need that, or to bring in tutors to their home if they have to do that. But it'd be a pandemic voucher.
There's a couple of components to this, but the most important one in my mind is what is called Emergency Education Freedom Grants. And these are dollars that would flow through the coronavirus stimulus funding, which is being worked on right now, to states to provide to scholarship granting entities. What does that mean, Jordan? It means that parents would be eligible to receive these funds from the federal government through their state entities to choose the schooling for their children of their choice. You're right. It can include homeschool. It can include private schools. It can include charter schools.
Corey DeAngelis, he was on right after me on Fox News this past Sunday. He is the Reason Foundation's Director of School Choice. Corey, it's great to have you on the broadcast.
It's totally ridiculous that the school system gets to keep your money even if it doesn't reopen. Just think about it with food stamps. If Walmart doesn't reopen, you can take your money elsewhere. If your community college doesn't reopen, you can take your Pell Grant and your GI Bill elsewhere. We should do the same thing with K-12 education. Just practically speaking, if the money's already going to be spent through the stimulus bill, I think a large and substantial portion of that should go directly to families instead of school systems.
Right.
So since this is already money that's already existing, I think it's a good idea to allocate those dollars directly to the families that are in need right now, not to the school systems that are just going to waste the money anyway.
Education is up to the states, and that's who decides their voucher programs and what kind of school choice programs they have. What the courts have said is basically they can do it, and they can do it. They have a wide leeway to do it as well. And whether it's you want to give vouchers, tax credits, at what level, how expansive you want it to be. Religious schools cannot be excluded, and private schools, charter schools, homeschooling included as well.
Each individual private school and family should be able to make that cost-benefit decision for themselves. Is the funding worth the additional regulatory cost? And I will say, yes, there's a lot of other myths in the school choice debate that run rampant, such as, school choice defunds public schools or siphons away money from public schools. But the reality is that the public school system siphons away money from families. School choice just returns that money to the hands of the rightful owners. We should fund the students and not the system.
Usually when we see pieces of legislation come from Washington, D.C., Jordan, it means that the feds are making all of the decisions with how the dollars are spent. And that's exactly the opposite in this. In fact, I would encourage people to go read the bill. It's only 24 pages long. And if they read a short section between pages 11 and 13, you will find all sorts of prohibitions against the federal government weighing in. They say that anybody who takes these dollars cannot discriminate against private schools or home schools or charter schools. It cannot be used to exclude faith-based schools, Jordan. So essentially what it does is it takes the money that's going to be spent already and turns it over to parents to decide how they are going to spend the dollars.
This would be at the federal level during the pandemic, so it would affect states, even those states that do not have school voucher programs, because of the need that we've been talking. We know about the need because we have over 1,000 folks who have contacted us for legal assistance.